Oh, wow. Huh. I thought we were going live. We're live somewhere, somewhere on the planet. We're live in theory. Oh, maybe
Hello.
this is it. Um, I don't know. I cannot figure this software out to save my life. Just 1 second here. Okay, says I'm going live over somewhere, but I don't know where. So I'm just going to hope this is, and then I am making a copy anyway. So I
Is
don't
there,
know. I
could we
sent,
check your channels? Like, could we get on to, I don't know if it's Facebook Live or whatever live?
yeah, it's supposed to be live on Rumble, but I just
Rumble?
checked
Okay.
it. I don't know why, but hold on. I'll try one more time. But if it doesn't show up, then it just doesn't show up, and I don't know why not. And I might have put in the wrong codes and all this kind of stuff that I don't understand. And we did a test, but you know, anyway, I just can't. I don't know what's happened. Okay, so anyway, let's uh, let's just do this, and I'll have the video, and then I'll put it up manually on Rumble and on my other sort of channels and things. I don't think I can also. I don't know. Yeah, we are live somewhere. So it should be associated with my accounts, and I'm sure I put in my stuff. So it's not going to someone else, I don't think. So we should be good. And I'm sorry about this, but I can't find it at the moment. Anyway, I'm Kerry Cassidy from Project Camelot, and I am here with Patty Greer and let's see, I'm sorry, Chris Barnes.
Burris.
Is that how you say your name?
It's Burris.
Burris. Okay. And you are representatives of the C60 Evo product, correct?
We're the founders and the owners.
Oh, all right. Okay.
60 Evo.
Founder and chief geek.
Lovely. And I'm using that product right now. I really like it. I think it's really wonderful. And so happy to have you on my show. So who wants to start? What I'd like you to do is, because I was having trouble with technology today, if you could give yourself a brief bio before you sort of launch into the product stuff. So, Chris, you want to start?
Well, I am the chief geek, so I'm gonna make everybody uncomfortable. Then Patty can make them actually comfortable. I'm a scientist. I've been manufacturing carbon nanomaterials since 1991. What we're going to talk about is actually this molecule here. It was discovered in '85. The scientist who discovered it won the Nobel Prize, and it is responsible for the single longest longevity experimental result in history. There's kind of a long story of me being a carbon nanomaterial scientist, and then this study coming out, and then really our customers driving us to bring this product to market. And that's really kind of the long and short of how I ended up here today.
Okay. So Patty, let's give you an introduction, and then we'll kind of keep going around.
Okay, little roundabout. I'm Patty Greer. I used to be a crop circle filmmaker. I met you a few times at different events because I was a speaker across America and Canada. And the industry used to be so fun. We had all the major players, Robert O'Dean, Stanton Friedman, Roger Lear, God, all my favorite guys, Wendell Stevens, the old granddaddies of ufology that had the real stuff, the four-star generals. And that's when I was making movies. I was also going to England filming crop circles, but I didn't realize how soon we were going to be moderated across the world with telling the truth in times of universal deceit. And I got whacked, and then I got whacked again, and my films just were like a fist fight with hacking and suppression. And then the events got really nasty, and I got wounded.
Mm.
So they haven't seen me for years because I got really wounded. And then somebody came around with round two and put some uranium in my garage 4 years ago. So I guess I was saying too much, like you are now. And I don't mean you are, but we were telling the truth. We're doing our best to bring the reality to the public of what the world is really about. And unfortunately, I said a little too much, maybe, but I found this incredible molecule that came from Chris and Robert's lab. And so I started taking it mixed with olive oil, and the wounding started to minimize. I started to come back. My mental focus was incredible. And I thought, what the heck is this? And I kept taking it every day, a spoonful. And I came back. I have come back hardcore from two really awful experiences that should have taken out most large elephants, let alone a little girl like me. But the C60 Evo, it won a Nobel Prize in the 1990s for its incredible properties. And Chris will explain that because it's the geek stuff. But for me, I'm the testimonial person who I know it saved my life. And I will also say that I had my glasses on when we first started because I saw a recent photo of you and I thought, how long has she been taking the Evo? Because your face is softer. Like you look different to me. And I don't know if you're feeling different from the Evo, are you?
No, but I just started it like a week or two ago. So I take these other things. I take a lot of things. But I take I do the X39 as well. I don't know if you're familiar
The
with that.
patches?
And I've also been doing that for a couple of months. But I've been very healthy all along. We were banned a few years ago from YouTube, so I had about 70 million viewers over there, and they dropped us overnight because I was reporting on the. We were fine with UFOs and aliens before that because they didn't care about that. But I've been doing this now for 19 years, so it's been a long haul. But things are good. Recently, we did get attacked again. I did an interview with Jay Widener about the Kennedys. And after that, for 2 weeks, my website has been down and my webmaster has been inundated with his other job. And it was a very difficult time to hire someone new. So I know this is completely off the subject,
No, it
but
isn't.
and I just realized that my background was backwards for you guys. But anyway, I think I fixed that. So want to just talk about the product and hear more. So thank you for that, Patty. And so now let's go back to Chris and what is it? So you didn't maybe clarify this for me because I guess I'm confused. So I'd heard a C60. I actually had bought it in the past and used it, but I ran out. And I guess that's what sort of sent me on a quest to find better or another C60 product. And I stumbled on yours somehow. And that's how I got into the thing. And I wanted to be an affiliate because I always thought it was a good product, C60 in general. So you didn't invent it. It was invented, I think you just said, going back. But how did you get involved in what did you bring to the product, I guess, more specifically?
Yeah, I think it'd be better to say, and this is going way back. This is going, 32 years. I think it'd be better to say, what did I bring to the molecule in general, right? So this soccer ball shaped molecule, I'm actually holding up a molecule. If people are listening, the best way to think about it is imagine a soccer ball where the lines on the soccer ball represent the bonds between the carbon atoms. And discovered in 85, the scientists who discovered it won the Nobel Prize in 96, so short 11 years. Really, I was attending school at the University of Houston. I met my business partner, Robert. He was actually working at a place called the Texas Center for Superconductivity, which is a separate building and kind of infrastructure inside of the University of Houston campus. And one day he was actually separating this material, this recently discovered material, and it has some superconductivity properties. And one day his professor, in this case, it was Dr. Paul Chu, who's actually pretty famous in superconductivity world for the research that he's done. It's actually why that Texas Center for Superconductivity exists on the U of H campus. And Dr. Chu came in one day and he was like, "Hey, Robert, you and the other lab guy are young kids. This molecule selling for $6,000 a gram." By the way, that's probably worth pausing right there. Just $6,000 a gram. This was back in 1990. But this is selling for $6,000 a gram. You guys should probably go start a company. And my business partner's from an entrepreneurial background and did a quick little napkin calculation, which probably looked like $6,000 per gram, and then said, "This is something that I'm going to go do." I was studying mechanical engineering at the University of Houston at the time. In order to manufacture this, the conditions are extremely challenging. So you actually have to vaporize graphite. And by the way, you take two rods, and in order to vaporize, graphite's one of the hardest materials on the planet to vaporize. So you need local temperatures of the sun right there where they interface in order to vaporize this graphite. Not only that, it has to be in a vacuum chamber, a chamber that's devoid of oxygen. So you have to vacuum out all the oxygen, replace it with an inert gas, vacuum out all of that, and replace it again, because just the minutest amount of oxygen will ruin the reaction. And so there's a lot of very stringent things that need to happen from an engineering and production perspective. And I was brought on to help make that happen. So back in 1990, my business partner, Robert, and I created the most efficient fullerene manufacturing. Fullerene is a whole kind of gamut of molecules. So we'll call it the most efficient ESS60, which is an evolution of C60. So we made the most efficient ESS60 manufacturing equipment that still exists. We've actually traveled the world, visited other production facilities, and ours is the most efficient and therefore the best. And that's really kind of what got me involved with the molecule.
Okay. So how did it go from $6,000 ounce or whatever it was to affordable?
Yeah. Well, if you're working with pure carbon powder, you would probably say this is not affordable. What it turns out, and the reason that we can actually have a health supplement on the market is because it doesn't take much of this molecule to actually show these benefits. It turns out you can't dissolve much of the molecule in the best kind of thing to dissolve it in, which is in this case is olive oil. We can only get about 0.8 milligrams per milliliter. So that's quite a low concentration. And so because it's a small amount of this really expensive powder, the product, it's not inexpensive, but it's not off the charts expensive. And we kind of knew from the beginning, this is interesting background way back into the 90s, that the way that this molecule, again, ESS60 is what we call the consumable form of it, was going to actually come to market at any point. It had to either meet one of two criteria. So one of them is it had to provide some value that is you just can't get anywhere else. And I kind of use the fictitious, if it could make an airplane invisible, the government would pay unbelievable amounts of money for this molecule, right? By the way, it doesn't make airplanes invisible, but that was one of the characteristics. The other is that a very small amount of it, right? So a mediocre amount in terms of cost would have an outsized advantage, an outsized benefit. And when you start thinking about the test that came out where the test subjects lived 90% longer than the control group, then that's a small amount that has had an outsized impact. By the way, the next best way to live longer, and this is peer-reviewed published research, is called CR, calorie restriction. If you restrict your calorie consumption by 30%, you can extend your life by 30%.
Okay. So then you experimented, or someone experimented on these rats, right?
Yes, that
so
study
then
was,
eventually did you get to humans or I'm flashing on the screen so people can see the product that we're talking about. And so just to be clear, and it's on my Telegram as well. It's also on my website. If you scroll down halfway, you can click on that and help support Camelot because I'm an affiliate with this product now. So if you want to, purchase it, if you're already like sold. But at this point, here's the ad. I think you should all be able to see that. And there's a number of different size products. And actually, I think you sent me like this care package. I opened it. I thought I ordered it. And then I thought, wow, I really, went to town with ordering. And then I realized that it was a gift. But anyway, so I'm not sure what all I have of all these things, but I know I'm using a couple of them, like this one in the kind of clear bottle.
Advanced facial serum.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's really nice. I've just started with it again, but yeah, it's cool. And I'm taking the olive oil. So I'm not taking any of some of these other ones, I don't think. But to get back to what I was asking is so did they start trials with humans at some point?
Well, so I would suggest that I'm taking it. I'm a trial. I know Patty's taking it. She's a trial. If you think about the evolution of us as carbon nanomaterial scientists, right? We're manufacturing this molecule. It goes into this. And by the way, that study was originally a toxicity study. They thought for various reasons that this molecule would be toxic. And so they put it in this toxicity study. And instead of being toxic, the test subjects lived 90% longer than the control group. By the way, that's peer-reviewed published research. That's the kind of research you want to hang your hat on. And also our lab, the lab behind this product, provided the material and were mentioned in that original publication. So we're the foundation of this industry. When you think about, I'll just kind of be blunt. I really tried not to get into the supplement industry for quite some time. In fact, when that publication came out, it was about mid-2012, mid-2013. We started getting phone calls. Hey, how much in a dose? How much of this should I be taking? And you have to think about us with our carbon nanomaterial hat on going, wait a minute, we sell this to research institutions around the world. They put it into ink, batteries, tires, and photocells. How much of this should you be taking? Probably you should be taking none, right? So there's this period of time where we're not getting into the health supplement industry. It's really mid-2013 till latter part of 2017. During that time, we're getting about 2 calls per week. And these are calls of people giving amazing testimonials. My hair is growing back. My knee pain's gone. My dad is mowing the lawn again, which could be a good or bad thing, right? My dad's driving again. Like all of these amazing testimonials. And it was a really tough time for me because as a human on the phone with somebody, I believe the other person. But as a scientist, I don't know what to do with this information, right? Like we're taught, and this is actually kind of inaccurate, we're taught that anecdotes don't matter, right? But that's not true. The reality is anecdotes are really important. Anecdotes are the formation. They're the start of the scientific process. Before you really start doing studies, in this case, it was bizarrely a toxicity study, but before you start doing the study, you have a hypothesis. That hypothesis about health has to come out of anecdotes, right? Let me give you an example. Our most consistent testimonial, people take the product in the morning, they report mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep that night, right? Now, we all know that sleep is good for our mental, physical, and emotional well-being, right? If I can just improve your sleep, you are going to be mentally better, emotionally better, physically better. People don't have doubts about that. And because that was one of our most consistent testimonials, we did our own study. And this is kind of a cool study that we did. By the way, a lot of most supplement companies do not do studies, right? They don't put the money there. They're in it for the money. I certainly want to make a profit off of my business, but I also want to deliver a lot of value to our customers. That's where my focus is. And so we did the study, kind of interesting. We would collect 10 days of data. This is survey data from people about their sleep before they tried the product, 10 days of data while they're on the product, 10 days back off the product, and then 10 days back on the product again. Universally, all of the subjects in our study actually showed improvements in their sleep when they were taking the product. So again, when they were on it and when they were on it the second time, universally, there were improvements in their sleep quality. And so that's an example of where we're actually putting our money where our mouth is. And really, we're responsible for kind of the only human trial that's out there. other than the fact there's probably some, 40 odd thousand people taking this product on a regular basis.
Okay. Well, that's quite a bit. So you also have it for dogs. Now I'm curious, do you have to give a different kind of one? You have a certain one for dogs, or can they take the human one? And why not? If not, why not?
So they
Well,
can, yeah, go ahead,
It's
Patty.
actually the same as the human one. We just added a little bacon flavor to the dog formula.
Okay.
But it is literally the olive oil, which is our strongest, most potent, and safest for all animals, with a little bacon essence. For cats, we do it with a little salmon essence. And
Ah,
a lot of people have said, my dog was limping and I had to carry him down the stairs to go outside. Now he's bounding up the stairs. So we're
that's
getting
awesome.
mind-boggling animal testimonials. And a lot of people that don't have kids or that do have kids, they really care about their pets. And if you want to avoid the veterinarians, what an easy way to do it. And it has a dropper. So depending on the size of your dog, you just do the drops, and on the website, it's got the data. But today I actually read pet testimonials, and they were really long because people are like, and then she did this. I mean, they're like really elaborative because they're so excited to see their pets come back from basically the grave. This one lady said her bird was falling over. Bird, we don't make it for birds, but she tried the olive oil, just little drops, and the bird came round. She said nobody thought the bird had a chance, and now he's really happy in his cage. So there's nothing we have tried it on that hasn't worked, which is really nice. And like you were saying, the facial serum, this is all organic, vegan, natural. I created it with this amazing herbalist, and the base is chia seed oil, which
Mm.
I don't think I've ever heard of in any other products. Um, it's got an essence of rosemary. So when you put it on at night, supposedly it takes your dreams into a more etheric state. So there's kind of multi-dimensional creativity going into our products. And there are other companies. You said you were trying another product before, and then you tried ours. And there are, like I said, a few other companies. We question, where are they getting their base product? Because Chris is the only one in America. There's somebody in Wuhan, China, where you can get your C60. But when we say C60, what we're hearing is industrial grade to us. At our lab,
Uh-huh.
we're the only ones that have been doing it 32 years. So the ESS 60 was when Chris and I and Robert got together and said, let's make it for people and humans. I mean, for people and pets, and aliens, whoever wants it. But I don't think I have found hardly anyone that hasn't said, I really noticed something. And with pets, you really see the benefits. But with people, we're also discombobulated and busy with our minds that a lot of times we don't realize, oh my God, it doesn't hurt anymore. Or, oh, I'm not limping now. But when you think about it, a lot of people are pretty amazed with the benefits. And we do 3 flavors of oil. You showed that photo of all of our products. And we want to be sure and guide people to your link, which is c60evo.com/Projectcamelot. And they can go shopping all they want, read the testimonials. Oh, good. I can just run through the products quickly from the left. We've got the strongest ESS 60 olive oil, then the avocado oil, and then the MCT coconut oil, which is incredible in your morning coffee, literally half as strong as the olive oil. And then the facial serum, which is all natural, beautiful product. And then we've got a 2-part with peptide. The blue 2-part bottles is an oil in one and a water formula in the other. And the reason we separated it is so that you will activate it fresh in your palms, so we don't have to use chemicals to do so. And then in the middle, there's the 2 little lip balms that are really great. There's a mint and a plain. And then to the right is our hair renewal formula, again with the peptides. And then we've got the big fat bottle of C60 Evo olive oil capsules. And the capsules are for people that travel or that don't like the taste of oil. And a lot of people have really favored that because you can take them with you everywhere in your briefcase, your purse, your glove box, just always kind of have them around, where the olive oil, you might not, I mean, our bottles don't leak, but if you don't put the lid on, yeah, the capsules are a lot easier. And then the dog and cat formulas. So you can sign up for a monthly subscription, you get 20% off. You can buy a case of anything, you get 25% off. If you buy little sets like the dog lover set, one for you, one for your dog or your cat, it's 15% off. You'll see all kinds of deals on the website, but no matter what you find, when it says, do you have a code, put in Project Camelot and you'll get another 10% off at checkout. And Kerry's
Right.
picky. Kerry's picky about her products, and if she tried it,
Yes.
she's still doing it a few days later. I'm glad, but I know that if you stick with it, I think you'll really see the benefits. And what we found at the end of last year, I just did all the numbers. I found that more than half of our sales are subscriptions. Like, people just don't quit. Every month it just keeps going over and over because the products work. So a
That's
lot of people,
wonderful.
yeah, a lot of people find that they get rid of a lot of their facial products with all these chemicals because you can use this and get much nicer results. Supplements, you can kind of clear away a lot of expensive stuff that may or may not work. Just take your Evo in the morning, boom.
Well, I love the taste of it for one thing. I have I forget what it's called, something like black cumin seed oil, I think it's called. But anyway, I love oils. I love olive oils of all kinds. And the other thing is that I didn't know about the one for dogs. So I actually, my dog, I actually just started giving it to my dog. But what I do is I put pour a little on a spoon, and I offered it to see if she would take it, just lick it off. And she did. And so she's very happy to have the oil, as a matter of fact. So she had something going on with one of her ears, and I was worried about that. So I just thought, well, I'm putting, a nano, I mean, colloidal silver in one of the ears, to do that. But at the same time, I started giving her that, and I think maybe it's helping. I think it tastes great, and I really I just get a good feeling from it. Now, my website has been down for almost 2 weeks, so I just put it on the website today, and so it's halfway down. But like I said, it's on my Telegram, and my Telegram is very popular by, I don't know everyone's standards, but I consider a lot of people. So hopefully this will raise the interest in the product. Now, is there anything else, like, because I want to make sure that we kind of ask the right questions and so on and so forth. So maybe, Chris, is there anything that you want to add to this, the things that maybe I'm not thinking of that go into the story? And also, I've only, like I said, only just started with this for really a couple of weeks, but is there anything else that people might want to know about?
Yeah, and then let me cover a couple of things, and then I'll share, a testimonial that kind of just popped into my head. A lot of people, when we start talking about the fact that these test subjects lived 90% longer than the control group, right? Again, the single longest longevity experimental result on mammals in history. They're like, well, okay, what are the possible mechanisms of action? How is this particular soccer ball shaped molecule, we call it ESS60, how is it doing anything? Like, what is it doing that might be extending life? And the medical community tends to think of aging really kind of in two kind of processes. One of them is oxidation, and the other one is inflammation. So let me address both of those. Oxidation, right? That's the reason we tend to take vitamin C. And, steel rust, that's oxidation. Our bodies are exposed to reactive oxygen species, a lot of, radio frequencies, sunlight, all of these things do generate oxidative stress in our bodies, and those stresses cause damage. We know from an ad hoc study out on the web that our product is 172 times more powerful than vitamin C. That's kind of like the go-to antioxidant, right? As soon as you're thinking about, oh, I got a little chest cold, let me grab some vitamin C, or I want to make sure I don't get a chest cold, let me grab some vitamin C. We're 172 times more powerful than that. That's an
Wow.
ad hoc study. There's actually a peer-reviewed published research paper that shows it to be 125 times more powerful than vitamin C. So if you're thinking about your immune system, you probably should be thinking about C60 Evo. The next, right? So we said oxidation, and then inflammation. Now, inflammation is a really tricky thing because of where the FDA sits in it. And what the FDA and I'll describe that a little bit more. What the FDA allows us to say is that our product addresses inflammation, at least inflammation caused by exercise. So we've all had like a tough workout, or maybe just walked longer than we normally do, woke up the next day and had that kind of. This product absolutely takes care of that type of inflammation. What we're not allowed to say yet, and I'm going to say yet because I think eventually we'll be able to, is that we address a chronic inflammation, right? The diseases of aging, the diseases of inflammation, those diseases are like arthritis, Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease. We're not yet able to say that we address those because inflammation, because the FDA equates talking about chronic inflammation as talking about those specific diseases. So it's the same thing in the FDA's mind. I'm not sure that that's incorrect, but it is their stance. What I can definitely say is there's an anti-inflammatory diet. It's associated with the blue zone people. Also, the Mediterranean diet is an anti-inflammatory diet. And our product fits perfectly inside of an anti-inflammatory diet. That's a diet associated with the blue zone. Blue zones, those people tend to live longer. They tend to have reduced incidences of heart attacks. They tend to have reduced incidences of stroke. And again, we fit in that diet quite well. So those are the kind of two most popular mechanisms that might explain why we're having improvements. And also remember, most consistent testimonial is sleep. We just all know sleep is good for our mental, physical, and emotional well-being. And so that is a key. And the testimonial that I'm thinking of, it's kind of interesting. So we're not a retail location here, right? We're a lab and a production facility. And I was working one Saturday, and a guy knocked on the door, and I saw it, and nobody comes here, right? So I go and open the door, and it felt very clandestine. He was like, "Do you have any ESS 60?" And I was, "Well, yeah, we have lots of ESS 60. He's like, "I would like to buy some." And I was like, "Well, let me figure out how to sell it to you, because usually people buy it on our website, right?" So basically, I got his credit card information. I purchased it on our website on his behalf, took the product, and off he went. And then about 3 months later, I was walking by the lobby, and Cassandra, she basically runs our office here, was providing some material to him, selling him some material. And I thought, and she shared with me that at the time we had some sort of 3-bottle special. So he was buying 3 bottles, and it was his 3rd purchase. And I was like, well, this guy's going to give an amazing testimonial, right? Like he's back, he's buying 3 bottles, all of this stuff. And so I was like, hey, so what are you experiencing? And he was like, he was almost embarrassed. He said, well, you know, Chris, I haven't really noticed anything. I was like, that's okay. Like, I understand why you would still continue to take this, because those test subjects live 90% longer than the control group. The single best longevity experimental result in history is with this product. So yeah, I know why you might continue to say it. But then he goes, hey, does it help with, you know, pain in the knuckles? He used a very specific word, you know, that I can't use. And I was like, yeah, we've had people who have, you know, addressed pain in their knuckles. And he goes, well, it's definitely helped with that. And also, I used to have this click, click, click in my knee, and that's gone. And I was like, well, it's a shame you haven't noticed anything. And he goes on to say, and by the way, after I leave here, I'm going for a run. I hadn't been running in a couple of years, and I'm going for like my 10th jog. So I'm running again. Like, it's a shame you haven't noticed anything. And then finally he shares, listen, and I also have to share this. At work, I'm less stressed. Let me be clear. It's the same job. It's the same people. It is, in fact, the same stress, but I feel less stress. And by the way, we get that sentiment of being able to handle stress, of having a calmness. We get that regularly. Again, if you get better sleep, that's good for your emotional well-being. Maybe that's it. Maybe there's some other things going on here. But I really like that testimonial because, yeah, one, take it for the longevity feature. And then two, some of these things are a little subtle, right? Like if you just haven't gone jogging in 3 years and you start and you slowly start and all of a sudden you're jogging, you may not go like, oh, you know what? I started jogging the same week that I started taking C60 Evo. And so sometimes it can be subtle in that way. What we do see regularly is people like, I haven't really noticed anything. I'm going to stop buying. And then they come back. We've got influencers who have like, I'm done. I really don't want to take it anymore. And then they come back and they're like quadruple their dose. And they're like, okay, when I went off of it is when I realized how powerful it was.
That's great. Good to hear. Okay, so I don't want to keep you too long. I want this to be kind of short and sweet. So, Patty, any other information you want to convey, thoughts or advice to our viewers?
Well, I just want to remind people that without your health, what do you got? Health is our greatest wealth. And I'm old. I've tried a lot of things in my life, and this is by far the strongest thing I've tried yet. If people want to just try a starter, I would highly recommend a bottle of the olive oil. It is our go-to. It is what we've given to all of the peer-reviewed tests, and it's noticeable. The other thing is the advanced facial serum. Again, these are just my two regulars every day, and the lip balms I use all the time. But, if you can afford to treat yourself to a variety of products, it's pretty darn wonderful. But if you want to just start with the minimum to let it prove itself to you, those are the two faves. And it's called the Inside and Out set. And you can save money on, buying the set. And then don't forget, use Projectcamelot at checkout for another discount. And yeah, I mean, we get very few returns and very few not compliments. Most of our testimonials use the word love. So I've seen a lot of those lately, which I really, really enjoy. So what you'll want to do is c60evo.com/Projectcamelot, and you'll get Kerry's landing page with all of our products, testimonials, and deals. And there's all kinds of deals every month. And hopefully you'll notice a difference quickly.
Very cool. Well, I think it's really lovely and so happy to have found you guys and connected with you. So thank you everyone for watching, and I guess onward and upward, and let's see what it does for people. And then if you want to send testimonials, right? Is there an email address they can go to just give you reactions, that kind of thing?
We'd love to hear from anybody that wants to. hello@c60evo.com. We also have a Facebook page. Facebook is C60 Evo Support Group. There's also C60 Evo on Facebook, Twitter, Truth, LinkedIn. I'm everywhere you want to be also. But, it's interesting with all the suppressing they're doing lately. Unless you boost your post, not a lot of people are going to see it. So I'm just out there, pop, 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 pop. And people are finding us from all around the world. I mean, we've sold to places that I didn't even know existed. An island called Grenada, Guernsey. Guernsey. It's an island off the coast of England. Grenada I've heard of in the Caribbean, I believe. But I mean, we really have sold to some obscure places, and it's because of shows like yours. You have such a wonderful range of people all over the world. And all the people that we do shows with have a different range. So, we're reaching out, but for anybody that cares about their health, needless to say, we want shortcuts, and we want mental clarity at a time when the world is really testing our mental focus and reserve. I am presently on day 2. They shut off our water accidentally, some big leak. And I just got the word right before the show that it might be another day or 2. And I'm like, how can I be this calm? Well, I have to be, because I'm going on the air, but I literally don't feel like, like it's interesting. It really does have a neutralizing effect on personality emotions that you don't want. And you've got the focus, though, to deliver the ones you do. So I'm a proponent, and I'm really lucky to be a partner with Chris and Robert.
Excellent. Okay. Well, thank you so much. And I'm sure that people will be interested, and I want to encourage my viewers to go to my Telegram channel. That it's also linked at the front page of my website, which is operational now. So it's projectcamelotportal.com, and I think projectcamelot.tv is still operational. But definitely go to my Project Camelot on Telegram, and this will be shown and reside on rumble.com, Project Camelot. And I'm also going to upload it to YouTube. So, fingers crossed on that one, right? So hopefully we didn't say anything they want to censor, but I don't care, because that's kind of a throwaway. I don't rely on them anymore. So take care. And again, thank you guys. This is fabulous. And I'm so happy to connect with you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Kerry.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you.